these solving systems of two equations, it kind of leads us into the whole chapter. Okay, again, we're not doing all the chapter. We're picking and choosing. This takes us past the Algebra 1 level type of systems of equations, though. Okay, so example 1, review substitution. So if I have 2x minus 1 equals 10 and 3x plus 2y equals 1, do you remember anything about how substitution is supposed to work? What do you remember, Mason? Okay, so you pick one of your equations and solve for either x or y. And this, I'm not saying this is the way you'd have to do this one, but this is the way we're going to talk about it. Okay? So, what do you guys want to solve for? Which equation and for x or y? First one for y, and I'm guessing you guys are picking that then because it's a 1y. Okay? So if we solve this first one for y, how do you guys want to do that? Subtract 2x. So if I subtract 2x, I now have negative y equals negative 2x plus 10. And then divide everything by negative 1 or multiply everything by negative 1 would change the signs, correct? So, whoops, both sides. So then we end up with the equation y equals positive 2x minus 10. Now what do I do with that? Yeah. In my other equation, every place I see a y, we're going to replace it with 2x minus 10. So it's 3x plus 2y. What am I putting in place of y? 2x minus 10. Equation still equals 1. How do I solve? We need to distribute. So 3x plus 4x minus 20 equals 1. What's next? Combine like terms. 3x and 4x is 7x. Minus 20 equals 1. Add the 20. 7x equals 21. And x equals 3. What do you know? Okay, x equals 3. Yeah, are we done at this point? No, because you guys know that these answers are supposed to be ordered pairs. So if you take the 3 and plug it back into one of the original equations, which one's easier? I personally would use the y equals. Now, could you use one of the originals as is? Yeah. Okay. I personally like using the y equals 2x. So 2 times 3 minus 10. 6 minus 10. So we end up with negative 4. How should I express my answer? Ordered pair of 3, negative 4. Okay. Yes?
So in Mr. Rock's class, we learned a different way. And I used that one because, I still have the same answer. It just seems like.
Did you use elimination?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm guessing. Okay, so, if it's a legitimate method that works, yes. And we're going to talk about a little bit because, honestly, the other way to do this problem would have been elimination. That would have worked pretty well. Okay? So, unless there is something specific that says use this method, and that's what you're going to be graded on, general rule of thumb is yes, just know how to solve it. So any of those methods would work. Okay, B. Now, the last one, I get it. Substitution, elimination, both work. What about B? You kind of have to use substitution here. Elimination. Yeah, we already have y equals 3x. And technically my other equation already says y equals. That's y equals x cubed minus 6x. So when both equations are y equals, what ends up happening? Take them and set them equal to each other, right? Or the idea of thinking, I don't know which way you guys want to think about it, but every place you see a y, you're going to replace it with 3x. Or you can think the other way around. So my equation, do you guys mind if I flip-flop? X cubed minus 6x equals 3x. Thoughts on where to go from here? Okay, yeah, let's take it all to the same side. Let's make it equal 0. So how are we going to move the 3x? Subtract 3x. So now I have x cubed minus 9x equals 0. Now what? I've got equal to 0. Typical solving technique is to attempt to factor it. Is there a GCF? Yeah, both terms have a GCF of x. So factor an x out front. When I factor an x out front, what remains? X squared minus 9. What direction do you... There's two different directions I could go here, so I'm curious what you guys say. Okay, can we keep factoring? Yeah, if you see it, the x squared minus 9 will keep factoring. And so we still have x out front. X squared minus 9 is x plus 3, x minus 3, right? Set each part equal to 0. How many parts am I saying equal to 0? 3, yes? So we're going to end up with x equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. What answers do I end up with? 3, negative 3, 0. Or 0 and plus or minus 3. Okay. The other option, if anyone chose to go that way, you would have set x equal to 0 and x squared minus 9 equals 0. We could have added the 9 and square rooted. Now what? Okay. We found our x's. We got to find our y's. So how many ordered pairs are we going to have at the end here? You're going to have 3. So these equations are going to cross 3 times. I don't know about you guys, but which equation do you want to use? Y. So if we use y equals 3x, we use 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So we have the ordered pair, 0, 0. We use positive 3. Y equals 3 times 3, and so we have 9. What's that ordered pair? 3, 9. And if we use negative 3, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So we have the ordered pair, negative 3, negative 9. Okay. So make sure you're checking for all solutions there. C. Good old word problem here. No, you're not allowed to skip it. You don't get better at them if you don't try them. Find the dimensions of a rectangular garden that has a perimeter of 100 feet and an area of 300 square feet. Thoughts on how we could start this? Okay. 2x plus 2y equals 100, where x and y are standing for your length and width. Do you have to use x and y? No. If you're more comfortable, could you use L and W? Yeah, your call there. So we're going to write some equations. If you want a picture, there's a picture. There's my rectangle. We have it. My rectangle has a length and a width. Either call them L and W, X and Y, A and B, whatever you want. So it tells me there's a perimeter of 100. What's perimeter? That's adding up all the sides, right? So L plus W plus W, or shortened of 2L plus 2W equals 100. What else? Okay, area of 300 feet squared. How do I do area? Yeah, length times width. So LW equals 300. Hey guys, here are your equations. It's important that we are able to get those equations. How do you want to solve? Well, and here's the deal, guys. Why do we have to use substitution on this one? It's L times W. That doesn't match up with either of these terms. There's no way we can eliminate anything because we have an LW term. So, pick one to solve. Which equation do you want to solve for L or W? In which equation, though? Yeah, I don't care if we solve for L or W. They're going to be about the same. Okay. And I would agree, it's probably better to solve the first equation for L or W. I'm trying to visualize if we solve this one for L or W, how that's going to work out. And it wouldn't be quite as fun. Okay? It would be, it would be doable, but not very nice. So, okay, if we solve one of these equations, we solve that top one. If I'm solving, it doesn't matter L or W. If I solve it for L, I have 2L, subtract the 2W over, so it's 100 minus 2W. And then to get L by itself, divide by 2, and so L is, I'm going to go the 50 minus W route. You could do 100 minus 2W all divided by 2. It's not very cleaned up, but you could do it. What do I do with this? L equals 50 minus W? Yeah, we're going to plug it into the other equation. So if I'm using equation L times W equals 300. So L is now 50 minus W times W, which is still there, equals 300. Oof, I'm going to run out of room. Make yourself a little bit of room there, guys. Okay. What do I have to do? Okay, you got to distribute happening. So 50W minus W squared equals 300. What do you want to do now? Make it equal to 0. do two things at once here? I mean, subtract the 300 makes it equal to 0, yes? But you guys know me well enough by now. What am I going to say about the negative w squared? I want it to be negative, at least because we're based on what we're going to try and do. So I would say if you subtract the 300 over, I'll write it in two steps. It's negative w squared plus 50w minus 300 equals 0. Now, if you want that positive w squared, change all your signs. So w squared minus 50w plus 300 equals 0. What are you going to try and do now? You're going to try and factor, right? We need something that multiplies to be 300 and adds to be 50. If you really want to 1 and 300, this is what I do if it's not obvious to me. 2 and 150, 3 and 100, 4 and 75, okay. 5 and 60, 6 and 50, 8's got to go, but I don't know what, no it doesn't have to. Take that back, I don't think it does go. Double check myself, saying nope, 8 doesn't go. 9 I don't think goes, so that takes me to 10. We know 10 is going to have to be 10 and 30. 11, 12 should go. 12 is what? 25. About that. What? I don't know. I know 20 goes. I'm not sure if there's anything. Huh? Oh, 15 and 20. There we go. Which means I've kind of reached a point there because if nothing goes between 12 and 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 doesn't go, the next number is 20, which we've got right there. Which one gives me a pair of 50, or a sum of 50 when I add or subtract? It actually have to add to 50. None of them. So what's next? When factoring fails, quadratic formula. If we have time at the end. Okay, so let's see, do I have time? Oh. W equals negative b, so 50, plus or minus the square root, clean up, 50 plus or minus 50 squared is going to be 2,500. 4 times 1 times 300 is 1,200. So 2,500 minus 1,200, 1,300, all over 2. Square root of 1,300, is it pretty? I don't think it is it? Okay, so if that's a decimal, we're going to have decimal answers here, guys. And that's how it works out. It happens that way. So 50 plus square root of 1,300, all divided by 2. And then I can also go up and copy what I just typed in and change that plus sign to a minus sign. So I got these two answers. Got an answer of 43.03 and 6.97. Okay. What was the question? Find the dimensions. Have I found the dimensions? Huh? I found one of them, right? I found two different options for my width. My options for my width are 43.03 and 6.97. Or essentially, if we go whole numbers, those are about 7 and 43, right? How do I find the other? How do I find the dimensions? I mean, we know they have to multiply to be 300. Could I use that idea? Or to take the number and subtract from 50. What did I just get? The other number? Okay, so obviously then if I do 50 minus my 43 number, I'm going to get my other number. So do we have two different sets of dimensions? Okay. They end up being the same, don't they? So what do we want to say? If I let you guys go whole numbers here, my dimensions are 43 feet by 7 feet. Okay. Good solid word problem, guys. Okay, example 2. Y equals 2 ln x and y equals x squared minus 1. Substitution or elimination going to work on this one? Okay. Well, an algebra fails us because you have 2 ln x. I mean, you throw that in with an x squared minus 1. Are we going to have a good way to solve this? No. Now, what's the difference between Algebra 2 and Pre-Calc when it comes to graphing? We have a calculator that can graph for us now. So, what's the first thing you should do? Grab your calculator and graph them. So I want you to begin calculator out. 2 ln x and x squared minus 1. I'm going to do a zoom 6 because who knows what I last graphed and who knows where these graphs go. Okay. Step 1 was to graph these on the calc because we're going to take the easy route today. Can you tell where the solution or solutions are? Can you tell what's going on here? What would be a good what am I going to suggest you do here? And we can use intersect here, but even before we intersect, would it be helpful to zoom in and see what's going on? And maybe you can tell, but in the back of my mind, I'm questioning: does that just cross once and they're tangent to each other, or are they crossing twice? That's kind of my question. So I would zoom of some sort. If you do a zoom in, or I like Z-box on this one, because then I can zoom in and look at, and my box is going to be a little bit bigger than I need, but I want to see what's going on here. Okay, what do you think? Maybe just tangent once? Okay, so I would definitely recommend that you zoom just to inspect the graph so you know. And then don't forget, we haven't used it a whole lot, but in your second calc menu, there is an intersect option. And that's what is easiest to use here. And I will walk you through that. So second calc, intersect is number 5. Make sure you know how to use this. So it asks me first curve, and it will automatically highlight one of the curves. For me, it is highlighting the blue curve, and I know that because it shows up here in blue, and it says it's highlighting y1 equals 2ln x. So I'm going to hit enter. Then it says second curve, question mark. And this time it has my other equation showing, my y2 equation showing. So that's good, that's what I want. I hit enter. Guess. This is important if there's more than one intersection point. In our case, if there's only one, we think, it's not going to matter, so I can just move the cursor in that area, and then you hit enter. And notice, what does it say now? It says intersection. So it's telling you this is your answer. Okay. What's my answer? 1, 0. We've all learned these calculators enough to know that I do not want you to put -2e, -12 on your paper. I want to know that you know that that just means 0. Because that would be like -2 times 10 to the -12. So taking your decimal and moving it 12 places left. Yeah, no, that's essentially 0. So, final answer, 1, 0. Okay, so enjoy the fact we get the calculator. Okay, elimination. Probably the one you guys remember the best. I don't know, they didn't give us any fancy elimination ones either in these examples. How's elimination work? Remind me. Okay. We want to use multiplication to set up so either my x's or my y's cancel. Which one do you guys want to make cancel? We could do either or. You can either make the x's both turn into 6x's or the y's turn into 15y's. I would say there's a slight advantage to the x's because they already have opposite signs. And life is a little bit easier if you already have the opposite signs. So how do I make my 6x's happen? Multiply the top equation by 3, the bottom equation by 2. So, 6x plus 9y equals 15. Bottom equation, negative 6x plus 10y equals 42. I think some of you guys could use this review. Have we forgotten elimination? Okay, my 6x's have opposite signs. Opposite signs tell me I need to add these. 6x plus negative 6x cancels. 9y plus 10y, 19y. 15 plus 42, 57. Divide by 19. What is 57 divided by 19? 3. Am I done? No. And how do I solve for x? Yeah, put y back into one of them. I heard top one. So 2x plus 3y, so 3 times 3, equals 5. 2x plus 9 equals 5. Subtract 9. 2x equals negative 4. Divide by 2, and x is negative 2. What's the best way to give my answer? Negative 2, 3. Okay, B. What do you want to do on B? Multiply the top one by -2. And I didn't ask what Daryl wants to eliminate there, but it works either way. Okay, so if we multiply that top one by -2, that top equation becomes -2x plus 3y equals +4. My bottom equation was already 2x minus 6y equals +4. Oh, and I wrote 3, didn't I? Thank you. Okay, so -2x plus 6y equals 4. 2x minus 6y equals 4. My apologies. I would hesitate to say everything. Okay, so opposite signs add. What's -2x plus 2x? That's 0. That cancels. What's 6y plus -6y? That's 0. So on the left, we have 0. On the right, does it cancel? No. It's 0 equals 8. What do you remember? No solution? When your variables cancel out, you have two options. One of which is no solution. How do we know it's no solution? 0 is not equal to 8. Okay, and last one. What do you want to do on this one? Multiply the top equation by 3. Try and do better on my multiplying this time. 12x minus 15y equals 6. Carry my bottom one over. -12x plus 15y equals 8. My signs are opposite. What happens this time? Yeah. X's and y's both cancel, so that's 0. On the right, 6 plus -6, 0. So what's different? Yeah. When all variables cancel and you have a true statement left. It doesn't have to be 0 equals 0. It's just what it happens to be. Then this is infinitely many solutions. It means the lines are the same lines. They will overlap every single place. So thus there are infinitely many solutions. Sound familiar? Yes, I hope. Okay, if you haven't already copied your homework down, make sure you do that. It's on page 526. 2 through 42 evens. But skipping 18 and 30. I don't remember off the top of my head what was wrong with those. No. Skip 18 and 30. So you still have to do 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28 along the way.